Now, everybody agrees on this story. That's how you know something is really wrong because when the left, the media, and social media say the same sentence all at the same time, they're usually skipping a paragraph. So stay with me here because once you see what they left out, the outrage starts to feel awkward.
Offered to take him and you saw ICE agents drive away with
Yes.
the 5-year-old boy.
Yes. And then I held another community member in their front yard sobbing.
Liam's
they
mother
say
was
anything to
inside
you?
the house.
Did they, like, when you asked them why they were doing that, did they say anything, talk to you?
So, I don't remember if they did say anything back to me. There was a lot of yelling and there was a lot of people, making a commotion. And so all I can speak to is the part that specifically that I heard and my response
Sorry,
to
to
that.
clarify, Liam's mother was inside the house.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay,
Did
and the
she
question-
say she wanted her child? Was she clearly, obviously saying, just leave him with me?
Again, I was not at that door when that was, as they were putting him in the vehicle and leaving.
Question for Mark. DHS officials have said that the father abandoned this child. How does that differ from what your understanding is? You said that they were being held at Dilley. What is your understanding of the conditions in which they're being held? Do you know if Adrian Conejo Arias has any sort of criminal record to speak of? I understand you were saying he was in the asylum process.
Sure, I'll take those in reverse order. To my knowledge, I looked through the Minnesota criminal database and found nothing. So no, there's no crimes here that the family has ever done.
Listen to how certain that sounds, right? Not maybe, not we're still learning. It's already decided. Bias, bait, kidnapped. ICE took a 5-year-old. Those words aren't chosen by accident. They're chosen to make sure you stop thinking and start reacting. Seriously. And notice something important. No one's asking questions yet. Everyone's already furious. Now, when a story is this clean, this emotional, this perfectly packaged, that's usually when reality shows up late to the party.
The growing outrage in Minneapolis, the images of a 5-year-old boy returning home from preschool, detained by ICE. Agents taking the boy and his father into custody. Vice President J.D. Vance in Minneapolis today defending ICE agents, claiming they were protecting the child, saying, what are they supposed to do? Matt Rivers in Minneapolis again tonight.
Tonight, the haunting images sparking a firestorm. A preschool boy standing in the Minnesota cold, swept up in the ICE crackdown. School officials say 5-year-old Liam, wearing his blue hat and backpack, and his father, Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias, had just pulled into their suburban Minneapolis driveway Tuesday when agents took that father into custody. The school then saying an agent essentially used the 5-year-old as bait, directing him to see if anyone else was home before taking the boy away. The district saying Liam is among 4 students recently detained.
The growing outrage in Minneapolis, the images of a 5-year-old boy.
Wow. The language. Here comes the part you weren't supposed to hear, right? Same day, same event, completely different story. Now, suddenly the word abandoned enters the chat. And that one word changes everything, right? Because ICE kidnapped a child and a parent ran and left this child behind aren't not even remotely the same universe. But watch how fast the left dismisses this as propaganda. Facts always only count when they agree, right? At this point, people pick sides, not based on evidence, based on which version feels better. So let's slow it down.
Once again, we got people losing their minds over a story they decided not to read past the headline. ICE arrested a 5-year-old. No, they didn't. Sit the fuck down. Breathe. Pick up the facts that you dropped. Now, since Logic apparently took an Uber and never came back, here's what actually happened. As you know, ICE was doing a targeted arrest for an illegal alien. You know, the adult, the actual target, the one released into this country by the Biden administration. Yeah, that guy. Agents roll up, and what does Captain Responsible Parent do? The Flash, and leaves his kid behind. Father of the year, ladies and gentlemen. So ICE does the unthinkable, the horror, the tyranny. They stayed with the child to keep him safe. Not cuffed, not detained, not tossed in a van, protected. While the other officers went after the dude who bolted and arrested his ass. But nope, here comes Twitter, TikTok, and the blue check Olympic mental gymnastics team screaming, hey, they arrested a toddler. No, they arrested a grown-ass man who abandoned his own kid. Here's the part that they never mentioned because, it ruins the tantrum. Parents are given the options. They can leave with their children, or ICE places the kid with a safe person that the parent chooses.
Come
It's
on
not
now.
new, it's not Trump, it's not
Come
fascism. That shit has been a standard across multiple administrations. Oh, and bonus round, they can voluntarily self-deport. Get a free flight, $2,600, and come back legally. But facts
Bye-bye.
don't trend. Outrage does. So no, ICE didn't arrest a 5-year-old. They arrested a man who ran, dished his kid, and then let the internet blame everyone except him. Now, if this story made you mad, you were not informed. You were fucking programmed. Burn the narrative. Read the facts. Try logic next time. That dude Usain bolted out of there.
Notice what's missing here. No yelling. I would say no dramatic music, but that'd be a lie. But it's not a crying soundtrack, if you will. Just sequence of events. And that's born to outrage culture right there. I mean, born, because born facts don't trend as well as panic, as he pretty much implied. The left doesn't hate misinformation. They hate context. But maybe you're thinking, okay, but what about the footage? Fair question. The whistles, man. Ugh.
Where's your humanity? Where's your humanity? That's a kid. That is a child.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? That is a child. That's a child.
We heard you.
A child.
Now, this is the moment everyone points to. And yes, it's uncomfortable to watch for some people, right? Usually the left. It's chaotic for them and emotional. But when you pause it, where is the kidnapping? No, seriously. Where's the bait? What you do see is confusion, right? A kid caught in the middle of adult decisions. And here's the part the media avoids ever trying to say, right? A bad situation doesn't automatically mean bad intent. Now, watch what happens when that fear spreads, and even the people who aren't involved at all, right?
I am afraid to leave my house. I am afraid to be in my house. I am afraid to go to work. I am afraid to meet my friends. I am afraid to be alive. We have escape bags packed. We have plans for how we are going to escape our home, and we don't even know where to go. They're in our neighborhoods. They're in my neighborhood. I am an American citizen. I was born in this country, and I'm Puerto Rican. So even if I was born in my home country, I would still be a citizen. This is no way to live, and the left fucking warned you, and you didn't listen. So now what? Now what? I am afraid to leave my house.
This right here is what you call manufactured hysteria. This is exactly what it looks like, y'all. A U.S. citizen born here, terrified of laws that don't even apply to her. That's not enforcement failure. That's narrative abuse, if you will. The left doesn't just oppose borders. They profit off panic. And she has the nerve to say they warned us. And while everyone is screaming about, one child.
Look at this image. Here it is so you can see it better. Now, that image is true. The numbers, though, they're a little exaggerated. It's between like 85,000 and 320,000, not 500,000. So the first reason why I'm showing you that image is because it shows you the hypocrisy of Democrats. But let's think about this. Let's really think about it. Democrats are outraged about a 5-year-old, right, being with ICE. But over 100,000 children came into this country under Biden. We did not track them. Many of them were sexually abused. Many of them probably put into prostitution. Many of them being sex trafficked. This is a documented thing. It's not made up. And throughout that entire process, we have not seen near the outrage that we've seen about this one situation where a father ran from ICE, left his child, and then an ICE agent stayed with the child to keep the child safe. Really think about that for a second. Hundreds of thousands of kids come into this country unvetted, and we didn't track them. We can't guarantee their safety. We don't know what's going on with all of them. We know sex trafficking is a real thing. We know it's done across the border. We know many of these children are victims to this, and the Democrats are quiet. If Democrats truly cared about children being treated well, wouldn't they have been talking about us making sure that we're not allowing children to be sex trafficked over our border?
Come on,
Wouldn't
man.
they have been taking that very seriously if they truly cared about children? Just think about it.
Come
The
on.
answer to the question is yes. So then my next question is, well, why haven't we seen this level of outrage or even focus on making sure that there aren't children being trafficked across our border? Because the Democrats don't truly care about the children. They care about the children when they can use the children to rile people up emotionally to try to whip people into supporting what Democrats want them to support. That's what this is about. It's about emotional manipulation to gain narrative control to stop ICE from enforcing our immigration laws. Because again, do not forget this, apportionment matters. Jeffrey, what is apportionment? The number of representatives in the House each state gets is based off the population. And it's the population of people, not citizens, in each state. So illegal immigrants count. So the House of Representatives plus 2 senators is how you get electoral votes, and electoral votes is how you determine the president. So when ICE is removing illegal immigrants from blue states, this is actually harming Democrats' power at the federal level. On top of that, this could be a reason why Democrats were incentivizing illegal aliens to come to their places. We'll give you free food or free stay. We're going to give you health care, all these things. It benefits Democrats at the federal level. So no, I don't think they really care about children the way they're trying to lead us to believe. If they did, we would have saw this level of focus and outrage when hundreds of thousands of unaccompanied minors were crossing the border under Biden. But we didn't. It's not about the children. It's about narrative control and Democrats' political power. So don't forget, I have a free email newsletter I send out every morning around 7 a.m. Central. The link to that's in my profile. So just go to my profile, click that link, drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go. It's a great place to stay up to date with information.
Yes, it is. Now, this is the part, the quiet part that they don't want us discussing right here. Hundreds of thousands of kids lost in the system, trafficked, exploitation, silence. But one story that can be used to attack enforcement, that gets wall-to-wall coverage, because the goal isn't protecting kids, it's protecting narratives for them. And when the narrative starts cracking, man, they bring in the panels.
And ICE officials told them that they were being directed to just arrest everybody in that courthouse, including people who were following the rules. And then when a child gets swept up in that, I think that also seems to people to be unnecessary cruelty. That rather than just shoving that kid in the car, shouldn't the ICE officers have done everything in their power to try to figure out where that child can go outside of detention?
Right, and they did. They tried to give the child back to the mother, who reportedly refused. They also didn't shove the child into the car. That child was abandoned by his parents, and they treated him
a lot of what you're saying is
how come when I talk I keep getting cut off? They treated him with decency. Second of all, even though they came here vis-a-vis the asylum process, according to the Legal Aid Society, federal immigration law permits the arrest and detention of most non-citizens, including those who are actively seeking asylum. So it's not like this is some kind of random policy they're putting in. And you said that we're being governed by people who don't or who hate a certain group of people. We're being governed by a government that actually loves the people of America. It loves her sovereignty. We are a nation of laws. Our immigration laws were duly enacted by Republicans and Democrats. If you don't like them, that's okay. But then you should go out and either elect a different representative to change those laws, or you should go and petition your government at the office.
You see how uncomfortable that just made them? Not because she's wrong, but because she's not playing along. The left loves laws until the law starts getting enforced. And suddenly the conversation isn't about facts, it's about tone. So let's end this where it all should have started, y'all, with the people who were actually there.
This week, ICRO conducted targeted enforcement operation to arrest Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias, an illegal alien who was released back into the interior of the United States by the previous administration. When officers approached Conejo Arias, he and his child were in a vehicle. Arias fled from law enforcement on foot, abandoning his child in the middle of winter in a vehicle. One of our officers stayed behind with that child while other officers apprehended his father. After conducting the arrest, my officers stayed with the child. They cared for him, took him to get something to eat from a drive-through restaurant, and spent hours ensuring he was taken care of. Again, my officers did that, not his father. My officers did everything they could to reunite him with his family. Tragically, when we approached the door of his residence, the people inside refused to take him in and open the door. Let me say it again. They saw the young boy and they refused to open the door and take him back. This is the human side of the job that my officers do. They are family men and women. They have children of their own. They sacrifice everything for their families. I know for a fact that they were heartbroken to see the child's own family leave him behind. Fortunately, Conejo Arias eventually requested that his child stay with him. We do everything in our power not to separate families. So they took him back together to Minneapolis, here to the city, to the ICE facility for processing, and now they are being well cared for at a family residential center, pending their immigration proceedings. This is the real face of ICE, ERO, Border Patrol, and our allied partners.
This is the missing piece. Hours of care, food, music, and trying to return the child, refused. That part would never trend, because if people heard this first, there wouldn't be a meltdown. There would be a conversation. So here's the truth nobody want to tweet. Borders aren't cruel. Laws aren't hateful. And enforcement isn't kidnapping. What is dangerous is a media class that knows exactly which words light the match and doesn't care what burns after. So if this story made you pause even once, you already see the problem. So if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to comment the missing piece, so I know who actually stayed, to see the turn. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.